Throughout history, ancient civilizations left behind mysteries we still haven't solved. From lost libraries and collapsing empires to forgotten technology and star-aligned temples, these stories will change how you see the past. This is Ancient Explored, and here are 10 ancient mysteries that still can't be explained. What if I told you ancient Egyptians brushed their teeth with rocks? Yep. Around 5,000 years ago, ancient Egyptians created one of the first known toothpaste recipes. Their gritty blend included crushed ox hooves, burnt eggshells, pumice stone, and ashes. That's not just rough, it was like sandpaper on your gums. Why did they go so hard? Egyptians were obsessed with cleanliness and beauty, even in death. They believed bad breath offended the gods and that clean teeth were a sign of status. But here's the twist. This toothpaste likely destroyed enamel, causing pain and long-term dental damage. Some ancient mummies have been found with worn-down teeth and even abscesses. Ancient hygiene wasn't always pretty. Roman concrete standing after 2,000 years. So why does modern concrete crumble in just 100? The Romans built harbors, temples, and aqueducts that have outlived empires. Their secret? A special blend of lime, volcanic ash, and seawater. Modern concrete relies on Portland cement, which breaks down faster under stress and moisture. But Roman concrete? It actually gets stronger over time. Scientists recently discovered that Roman concrete has something called self-healing properties. When cracks form, the lime reacts with water and reseals the damage, like ancient Flex Seal. Even more wild? We're only just now figuring out how they did it, thanks to a 2023 study using high-resolution imaging. 2,000 years later, Roman engineering still schools us. One of the most advanced civilizations in the world just vanished. So what really happened to the Maya? The ancient Maya built massive cities, pyramids, and calendars more accurate than Europe's. At their peak around 900 AD, they ruled huge parts of Central America. But then, within decades, they abandoned it all. No war, no massive invasion, just silence. So what happened? Historians believe a perfect storm of disasters hit. Mega droughts that killed crops, internal warfare between city-states, environmental collapse from deforestation. With no water, rising violence, and failing farms, the great Maya cities fell fast. But here's the twist. The Maya didn't actually disappear. Their descendants still live across Mexico and Guatemala today, just not in massive kingdoms. Brain surgery in the Bronze Age? Yep, and shockingly, people survived. It's called trepanation, the practice of drilling or scraping holes into the human skull. And it wasn't rare. Archaeologists have found trepan skulls from Peru, Greece, Russia, and Africa, dating back as far as 1200 BC. But here's the wild part. Many skulls show signs of healing, meaning the patients actually survived the procedure. We don't know exactly why ancient surgeons did it, but theories include treating head injuries, releasing evil spirits, or relieving pressure from swelling and trauma. They used sharp stones, bone tools, and no anesthesia. Yet somehow they made it work. Ancient medicine was brutal, but not as primitive as you'd think. The Terracotta Army is hiding something, deadly traps, and maybe they still work. In 1974, farmers in China stumbled on one of the greatest archaeological finds ever. An underground army of over 8,000 life-size warriors built to guard the tomb of China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang. But here's what most people don't know. Ancient texts say the tomb was rigged with deadly traps. Booby traps filled with darts, crossbows, and rivers of mercury. Qin's tomb hasn't been opened, not even by scientists. Why? Because researchers fear that triggering one of these traps could destroy the site, or worse. In fact, modern scans show massive mercury levels in the soil, exactly where the legend said they'd be. So the emperor's secrets? They're still buried and still protected. Booby traps, liquid mercury, ancient security systems. The Roman Empire ruled the world for centuries. Then it suddenly collapsed. Why is that? At its peak, Rome controlled over 50 million people. They built roads, aqueducts, and an army no one could match. But by 476 AD, it was gone. So what happened? Some say it was economic collapse, inflation, overtaxing, and debt. Others blame lead poisoning from pipes and wine vessels. Then there's the barbarian invasions, like the Visigoths who sacked Rome in 410 AD. But here's the twist. Rome didn't fall from a single blow. It was a slow-motion unraveling. Corruption, weak leadership, disease, division of the empire, and maybe even climate change. It wasn't one dagger in the back. It was death by 1,000 cuts. The fall of Rome was the fall of an era. You've been lied to. The Great Pyramids? Probably not built by slaves. For years, we pictured thousands of slaves dragging stones across the desert. But new discoveries tell a different story. Archaeologists found worker villages right next to the pyramids, with barracks, bread ovens, beef bones, and even medical care. These people weren't slaves, they were skilled laborers. They ate meat, had homes, and worked in rotating teams. Some were even honored with tombs near the pharaohs. One inscription called them the Friends of Khufu, the same pharaoh who built the Great Pyramid. So why the myth? It likely came from Greek historians and Hollywood, not Egyptian records. The truth? The pyramids were built by proud, paid workers, not chains and whips. The Library of Alexandria held the ancient world's knowledge. Then it burned to the ground. But what really happened? Legend says the Library of Alexandria was destroyed in a single blaze. Thousands of scrolls, gone forever. But the truth? It's way messier. Some blame Julius Caesar, who set fire to ships near the harbor in 48 BC. That fire may have spread, but it wasn't the end. Others say it was Christian mobs centuries later who saw the library as pagan, or Muslim conquerors who supposedly burned the scrolls to heat bathwater, but that story may be fake. Most likely, the library didn't burn in a single night. It slowly decayed, attacked by war, politics, and neglect over centuries. There may have been multiple libraries, and no one knew what was lost until it was too late. The Library of Alexandria didn't explode, it quietly vanished. Think the Great Wall of China is the longest ancient wall? Think again. There's another one, and almost no one knows it. Hidden in the hills of India lies a massive stone wall stretching over 22 miles. It's called the Kumbhalgarh Fort Wall, and it's the second longest continuous wall on Earth. It wraps around 13 mountain peaks and is wide enough to fit 8 horses side by side. Built in the 15th century by Rana Kumbha, this ancient defense system protected the Rajput kingdom of Mewar. Inside the walls, hundreds of temples, palaces, and even secret tunnels for escape. But unlike the Great Wall of China, Kumbhalgarh stayed hidden from the world for centuries. So why don't we hear about it? Because it wasn't part of a global empire, just a local kingdom with big ambitions and brilliant engineers. One of the largest ancient walls lost to history. Pyramids, Stonehenge, Mayan cities, they all line up perfectly with the stars. But why? Across continents and centuries, ancient civilizations built their most sacred sites with one thing in mind: the sky. The Great Pyramids of Giza align almost perfectly with Orion's belt. Stonehenge matches the solstices, and Mayan temples point to the rising and setting sun on key calendar dates. How did they do this with no telescopes? Some say it was spiritual. Many ancient people believed gods lived among the stars, so temples were designed as cosmic gateways. Others say it was practical. Aligning structures with the heavens helped them create incredibly accurate calendars, crucial for farming and survival. But here's what's wild. These patterns appeared in completely different parts of the world, with no contact between them. Was it coincidence? Or did they all know something we've forgotten? The stars shaped ancient civilizations. These aren't just ancient facts. They're ancient questions we still haven't answered. How much did the ancients really know? And what have we forgotten? Subscribe to Ancient Explored for new discoveries every week. Like, comment, and let us know which ancient mystery blew your mind the most. See you in the next one.